With a little help from your butcher and my simple recipe, you can make this dish that's super easy and full of wow factor. It's a crown roast of pork. Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Let's Celebrate TV. I'm your host, Peter Lee. On this channel, we teach you all about celebrating. We show you recipes for food, hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, and we share entertaining tips. Now, we try and make it all simple for everyone, especially those of you who say that you can't cook or entertain, because we know you really can. So if you like this episode, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and watch a new episode every single week. Today's celebration is all about Valentine's Day. Now, I've been talking for the last couple of episodes about Valentine's Day is coming, and I have a big dinner party planned. So what I want to do is practice some of my recipes. So our celebration today is going to be the main course of my Valentine's dinner, and I'm making a crown roast of pork. What's a crown roast of pork? This is a crown roast. All it really is the loin of the pork with the ribs, which is where we get center cut pork chops. And my butcher has just trimmed it down, tied it in a circle. This is actually two sections that are tied, so it looks like a crown. Now, I'm very, very lucky. I have very nearby in Mickleton, New Jersey, a great little shop called Haynes Pork Shop, and that's all they sell is pork. And it's the same family since 1865, and they're just wonderful. They have their own farm and everything. So everything's local and wonderful and economical. If you don't have a pork shop, and not everyone does, you can go to your local butcher in your supermarket. Talk to them. I'm sure they'll be glad to make this for you. In fact, I have seen these in my local ShopRite where people have asked and they've made them, especially the holidays. This is being pork, a pretty economical cut too, and it's very impressive and super easy. But we need a little flavoring on it. So let's start with that. I'm going to start with making a rub. Now, this is going to start with 3 tablespoons of olive oil right here, right in our bowl. Now, I'm using today a garlic-infused olive oil. So here's another shout out. This is from a little store called Tales of the Olive in Hamilton, New Jersey, and they have another location in Williamstown, New Jersey. So if you're in the area, check out Haynes Pork Shop and Tales of the Olive. At Tales of the Olive, you can get gourmet olive oils and gourmet vinegars. But you can also find a lot of these things in your local supermarket. You don't have to go to specialty shops. If you really can't find garlic olive oil, just add a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Simple. Now to this, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt and 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground pepper. Sage is next. I have 2 teaspoons of freshly chopped sage. My favorite, rosemary, 2 teaspoons chopped up. And my other favorite is some thyme. I couldn't get fresh thyme, so I'm using dried today. Perfectly acceptable. Now, just going to whisk this up to combine. And you see, it comes together as a paste. Let's get all of that goodness. Now, with my impeccably clean hands, we're going to rub this all over the outside of this roast. Now, a lot of times when you see these roasts, where you look up recipes, they call for stuffing, or you might see them in a restaurant and they're stuffed. You could make a stuffing like you would for turkey and stuff the inside cavity, but I don't recommend it. I would prefer to, like we're going to today, use a rub on it, stuff it with aromatics maybe, but putting a stuffing in it is just going to slow down the cooking, and by the time the stuffing cooks, the meat itself is going to be overdone. We don't want that, certainly. Now, don't be shy. Get your hands a little dirty. It's all good. We must touch our food. Okay. Pretty simple so far, huh? Get rid of this. Wipe off my little hands. Now we're going to get this ready for the oven. My nice roasting pan on a rack. I'm just going to place this here. I'm going to put a few oranges into the cavity just to add some moisture and extra flavor. Just 3. And to further the rosemary, because I love it so, I'm going to put a few branches of rosemary into the cavity as well. One more little one. Now we want to, almost ready. These top bones, I don't want them to burn. So I have a little strip of foil, and we're just going to wrap it around the top and cover it. Leave the hole open so that heat can get in and steam can get out. But that will protect these top bones from burning. Probe thermometer. This is going to go into a 350-degree oven, and we want to pull it out at 140 degrees. And then with the carryover cooking, while it's resting, it will finish cooking and go up to 150, which is right where you want pork to be for a nice medium rare, where it's just the tiniest bit pink and still very juicy. So I'm going to put this really between a couple bones into the thickest part of the meat. And now I'm going to go into the oven. So here we are. We're out of the oven. Now this took about 2 hours actually to get this up to 140 degrees. So I pulled it at 140. I let it rest, loosely foiled tent on it, and it went up to almost 150 degrees, which is perfect, right where I want it. Now, this had a string around it. I just snipped the string off and took it off. You've seen me do that with other Thai roasts before. Simple. So I'm just going to start to cut this. I've started cutting a couple. You just cut right between the rib bones, just like this. Right down. Okay. Pretty simple. Now this is so tender and juicy. Now we've let this rest for about 15 minutes so that all the juices, or most of the juices, will come back inside of it and it won't get dried out. And of course I chose the one spot that's being difficult, but that's okay. I have enough cut here. We're just going to move this over onto the platter. Now you see these oranges and things that I put inside are nice and cooked. They've added so much flavor. Here's some chops that I've cut off. Just going to lay these out. Now the great thing about this is they're all little different sizes, and that's okay. This is how it should be enjoyed. Now don't worry if you see a little pink or you see some pink juices. Here's the secret, guys. You can eat pork a little tiny pink. It's not the 50s anymore. You don't have to cook it until it's 200 degrees. Enjoy it a little pink, a little juicy. You'll be fine. Now let's fill this platter up some. I have some stuffing I made on the side. And we're just going to put some on the platter. And this is family style, so we're just going to scoop this out. I'm not going to try and be fancy or special. I'm just going to scoop it out, pile it on, kind of artfully and messy. Because my family is here, and we're all going to dig into this and enjoy it. So today, I don't have time to be frou-frou and fancy. Some days a little elegance is nice, but not today. Look at that. Okay. Now we need a little color just to make it pretty. Now I stuffed it with some oranges, so let's put some oranges out on the platter. for some color. And of course, a few rosemary sprigs just to remind everyone that we had some rosemary with it. How pretty is that? So we should probably taste this now. You know, I've got all my family here and our friends, and they're really hungry and waiting for dinner, so I just can't pull myself to taste it right now. But hold on a moment. Okay, that's our show for today. Crown roast of pork. Now, as always, I'll have this recipe up in the comment section of YouTube, just like I always do. And we love to hear from you. I want to find out. I want to know, are you going to make a crown roast of pork for your next dinner party? So let us know on Facebook too, because you should follow us on Facebook. We love hearing from you. Take pictures, send it to us. So that's our show for today. Until next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m., when you come over and let's celebrate again. We'll see you next time. I'm your host, Peter Lee. This is my family. Cheers.
Cheers.